Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cali Culture Podcast, episode 25, featuring returning and recurring guest Jason Wilson, who is the CEO of the Circle of Friends and the Spirit Link platforms. Jason is also the producer of the Cali Culture Podcast. Jason and I are going to talk about a variety of interesting and thought provoking topics, including but not limited to the following: challenges and funny moments of learning Spanish, the upcoming August the 7th inauguration of the newly elected Colombian president, Medellin's reported crackdown of the passport bros. We're going to talk about the Petronio Álvarez Festival occurring in the second week of August. We're going to tackle obesity in America and discuss the enriched Colombia fitness culture. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Jason's upcoming projects that he's going to make available to you. And without further ado, episode 25, listen, learn, and enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cali Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Preston. This is the only podcast on air that showcases and discusses everything about Cali, Colombia. We're pleased that you're here today. You want to listen to this show in its entirety, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter what you're doing, if you're in the gym or if you're having a late lunch or whatever you're doing, listen in closely because we got another good show for you today. We have a recurring guest. And by the way, he happens to be my podcast manager. Before we introduce our recurring guest, I just want to say that you want to listen to the show in its entirety, good people, because there is so much information you're going to learn today. It doesn't matter if you're an expat, a tourist, first-time traveler, listen closely. So without further ado, let's bring in our guest, Jason Wilson.
All
Jason,
right, all right.
welcome back.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the invitation. And I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation, brother. We got so much to talk about, man.
Indeed, we do. Indeed, we do. And let me just say, it's always good that, I can get you from behind the stage, from behind the camera and the podcast program and right up stage in front of the viewers so they can just get all your insight. You have a lot of good insight and perspective on things, Jason. And so it's always good to have you on the show.
I
Let's get right
appreciate it,
into
man.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. So, first thing I want to talk about is, as you know, Colombia elected a new president, Arbeláez de las Playas, and he has an inauguration August the 7th. Now, here's the interesting thing. Typically, the inauguration occurs in Bogota. That's historically how it's always been. The inauguration was always held in the capital. This year, for this particular new presidency, the inauguration is going to be in Cali, Colombia, in Cali. So now, before they established Cali, there was other cities, to my understanding, they were evaluating. Popayan, right outside of Cali, was one city, but they decided against that due to safety concerns. But Jason, there's going to be, this is unprecedented, first of all, but there is going to be, actually, I just read this yesterday, it's going to be 11,000 police officers, armed, uniformed police officers in Cali and the perimeter. They're going to have manned vehicles patrolling the city of Cali. They're going to have unmanned vehicles, or i.e., drones. They're going to be, circling the airways. This is going to be big, Jason.
Yeah.
So I want to get your thoughts on, first of all, what do you think about this sort of difference in how inaugurations have been in the past is definitely different, and then also the inauguration and the new president coming in general. I'd love to get your thoughts on this.
Well, I mean, this year that is coming to a close, and then also the next 3-4 years, man, are going to be unprecedented here in Colombia.
Right.
I think, but all over the world in general as well, man. I mean, God is doing some amazing things already.
Mhm.
And so, with this new president, man, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for trade from, the United States and other countries.
Mhm.
And I think the opinion of Trump right now, and that administration, is that they want to have a much better relationship with Colombia going
Mhm.
forward. And so, of course, this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for trade and a lot of other tourism and other things that can be a huge benefit to
Mhm.
Colombia. So I'm excited about it, man. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, absolutely. I share your same sentiments. I'm excited. Sometimes difference and change is necessary.
Yeah.
This new president, Colombian president, is coming in, has a lot of ambitions. He has a lot of very distinct and aggressive ambitions in regards to crime, in regards to free business, less government, free private business. And so I think if he's able to do half these things that he's campaigned, it would definitely be in a step in the right direction for Colombia.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the safety aspect of it. He campaigned on essentially being similar to the El Salvadorian president, Nayib Bukele. And as you know, Nayib Bukele, he basically implemented and developed a maximum security prison. Actually, I think a few of them.
Yeah.
He did a good job in regards to being able to alleviate crime almost overnight. Jason,
Absolutely.
to you is uh, so El Salvador had a problem with gangs. Colombia has a problem with the guerrilla and the paramilitaries. Do you
Right.
think that those same goals and objectives in regards to being tough on crime that were implemented by President Bukele in El Salvador, that same approach could work in Colombia? What is your thoughts on that?
I think so, man. And it's already started. I mean, they have Homeland Security stationed in Medellin. And according to our friend Robert Eaton, 107 people have already been deported
Hmm.
that have come here to Colombia and have been involved in trafficking and all kinds of crazy stuff
Yeah,
with these women in Medellin, man. So, I mean, they've cracked down already. And so I think we can expect the same thing when it comes to the guerrilla and all the other problems that we have here in Colombia. And as I
hmm,
mentioned before, in order to increase trade and tourism and everything else that Trump and the administration would like to see happen here in Colombia, they're going to have to do something about the safety.
absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I'll say this: I don't know if he could fulfill all of his campaign promises in regards to 10 maximum security prisons. That is a significant goal. Um, Not to say it couldn't be done, but I just think in 4 years that'd be difficult. But even
Yeah.
if he could reach half that amount, if he could do half his goal, that would be a significant impact to the criminal and the whole safety issue in Colombia in general, specifically in the Valle de Cauca department. As we know,
Yeah.
it definitely there's a serious reputation, and the reputation precedes the incidents that happen in that particular department. And it's not just in Valle de Cauca; it's in other departments as well. Right outside Bogota, right outside Medellin, in the coffee
Yeah.
region, they have issues. So I think I definitely agree with you that if that things are changing, and I think if he's serious about being tough on crime, I think there could definitely be reform regarding safety, regarding crime, regarding even the paramilitary organizations. I think that working with the U.S. could only help. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've never seen it been done on this level, though. I mean,
yeah,
Homeland Security
right,
here in Colombia, that's unprecedented, man.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hopefully some positive change. I'm not much on politics these days, just because for a number of reasons. But I I do hope for the best for Colombia. And again, if this president could come in and if he can solve this crime issue, if he can at least make a significant improvement, more trade, more tourism, good tourism, like we always preach
Yes.
and advocate good tourism. If he
Mm.
can also, you know, make sure there's no illegal mining and things of that nature, I think that all of those things are good. So, not to belabor
Me
that
too.
issue, but I believe and I hope and pray. Obviously, we're praying good times and better times are ahead for Colombia.
I believe so.
Yes. Now, let's talk about a completely different topic, Jason. I know you are bilingual.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I am not. I am semi bilingual at best, as you can say.
I mean, that's all right, brother. It takes time, man.
It does take time. It does take time. But to that end, uh, I want to know your process for learning Spanish, becoming fluent in Spanish. First of all, how long did it take you? That's the first question. And then the follow up to that question is, at what point did you become fluent and confident? It's one thing to be
Okay.
fluent. It's another thing to be
Yeah.
confident where it doesn't matter what social setting I'm in, I can easily and effectively communicate.
Yeah. This is interesting, man. Okay, so when I got here, of course, with the Spanish that you take in school and in college, at best, man, they'll give you, maybe an upper basic level, you
Right.
know, and then when you get to college, you might have to take an intermediate level of Spanish, but it does not prepare you even to be even close, man, to
Hmm.
having a conversation with anybody in a Latin American country. And so I found that out, man, when I got here to Colombia in 2002. I mean, I was watching TV one day, RCN TV, as you well know.
Hmm.
There's two channels, two major channels here in Colombia, RCN TV and Caracol TV. So
Hmm.
I'll never forget, man, when I first arrived here, my wife was watching RCN TV and I was watching one of the news programs. And I said, there's no way I can understand this, man.
Right.
I don't know how long this is going to take, but it's going to take an eternity to learn this language. That's what I thought. And I noticed, though, that, I would be in real world situations, like taking a taxi, going to the store, not really communicating because my wife did all the talking, you know. Over time, though, I would be at family gatherings and stuff.
Hmm.
And, I think that everybody has that insecurity in the beginning. You'll be listening to the family talk and you'll be thinking that they're talking about you.
Yeah.
And you be like, what you call me?
Right.
you know? And so you'll be thinking that, but it's not the truth, man.
Yeah.
But it just takes time to, get to a point where you can at least understand a
Yeah.
conversation, So I would say that whole process took me about maybe half a year to a year.
Hmm.
And so I noticed that after a couple of years, I could understand a lot more.
Hmm.
And so in 2004, I had to take a trip back home to Atlanta. And so the plan was to work in Atlanta for 4 months,
Hmm.
get married there in Atlanta, and then come back to Colombia.
Hmm.
And so while I was there, I got this job in sales at this place called Massage Warehouse. So I was working in the telemarketing department. And so we had people calling from all over the world, man. Latin America, Europe, I mean, everywhere, calling for massage tables and, everything that you would need for a spa.
Hmm.
So to me, it was interesting. I worked in the spa as a spa director at a private health club in Atlanta. Meanwhile, I was a personal trainer all at the same time. And so I knew quite a bit about the spa business from that job. And so I would be answering the phone. And one day, man, I'll never forget, this guy from Puerto Rico called. And of course, he didn't speak any English, man. I mean, the whole time he was speaking Spanish and I understood everything he said.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was after a couple of years, right, of being in Colombia. And I was able to respond to everything that he was asking me in Spanish. So I said, okay, it must be working, right? And so I had never had a real world situation where I was actually forced to have that conversation in Spanish like that. Now with my wife, I mean, all of our conversations were in English. So, and I was also teaching English as a second language here in Colombia, but in Bogota at the time. And so, of course, the majority of the time I had to speak English. I had to translate some words here and there in class, but I mean, for the most part, it was in English. So the other thing about that, though, man, after, maybe like a year or two of being immersed in a culture like that, let's say in Colombia or any other Latin American country, what you notice is you'll start to have dreams in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's interesting. And so I also noticed that while I was in Atlanta during that time, I started to have dreams in Spanish. So yeah, man, that's the indicator to let you know that you're becoming bilingual at that point.
That you're making progress at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. You're actually becoming bilingual.
Wow.
When you start to dream in Spanish.
Well, I haven't gotten to that point yet, Jason. I can't recall a single dream in Spanish yet. So,
So yeah, the whole process, though, I would say it took me 2.5 years. Yeah. And even then, when I spoke Spanish and I would be in certain situations, I didn't understand 100% of what that person might have been saying because of the accent and other things. And, so I had started a speed dating company with my wife in 2010. And so, I would be in business meetings, organizing events in different locations around Bogota. And sometimes I didn't understand everything that they were saying because of the accent. Maybe that person was from Santa Marta or someplace on the coast. And if you run into anybody from the coast, man, they speak fast. Yeah. It's a different accent, man. So it was difficult to understand that. But for the most part, after I would say 2.5 years, I understood pretty much everything after that.
Amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. I always say that you definitely have to be in the environment. Environment plays a big deal. I know when I go to Cali for 2 weeks, I start to, over time, slowly start to pick up more words. And then I come back to the States, it's all about practice, right? And then I don't practice. I don't review any of the words or try to speak Spanish, and I lose it, So I think being in the environment is a big deal because it forces you to listen. It forces your brain to retain some words that you learn. And just every day, like going out and ordering lunch, or ordering dinner, it forces you to have to speak. Like it might be broken Spanish, but it forces you to speak some Spanish as opposed to being back in the States. You're in your comfort zone because I live in Augusta, Georgia. There's not many people who speak Spanish here, so I don't have that opportunity other than a few guys that I train boxing at the gym that are
okay.
Mexican.
So let me say this, man. Anybody that you run into that speaks Spanish, as you mentioned in your boxing gym, you can start to have conversation with them.
Right.
And, when it comes to boxing, man, you can ask them for different vocabulary words to help you have a conversation about that subject. And I actually did that, man, before I left Atlanta and came here to Colombia. I was working at LA Fitness at the time. And close to the time that I had to actually leave Atlanta and come here, I was in the sales department. So there was a guy, man, from Cali who was actually in my sales department for a couple of months before I left. And so he would give me a script in Spanish to help show people around the club and give them that tour in Spanish as well.
Wow.
So I was able to, study that script, memorize certain phrases and stuff. And so, I could at least do that kind of conversation in Spanish. And so when it comes to, anything that you have to teach for your martial arts or boxing or anything else, have conversation, basic conversation, basic phrases, vocabulary words that you can get from them to at least have a basic conversation. So I think that kind of practice, and you love that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
So it'll be easier to come to you and be able to have that kind of conversation with anybody else in Spanish. The other thing I suggest, though, you got Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so start to watch, brother, some documentaries, maybe some dramas in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Put the audio in Spanish and the subtitles in Spanish.
Mm.
And why is that? Because your brain cannot understand two languages at once.
Right.
Only one. So if you have the audio in Spanish and the subtitles in English, you still won't be able to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing I suggest, man, is that at least do that exercise 5 to 10 minutes a day. Every day. You can't miss a day. It's kind of like going to the gym. If you want results, right, you need to be going on a regular basis, at least 3-4 times a week.
True.
With learning Spanish or any other foreign language, man, it's the same exact thing. If you can't be immersed in the language, then the next best thing is some kind of Spanish practice like that. Mm-hmm. Listen to that, and of course, read the subtitles 5 to 10 minutes a day. And within that 5 to 10 minutes, man, you probably pick up, I don't know how many vocabulary words, at least 20, 30 vocabulary words, right?
It's true.
So you want to put all of those vocabulary words in a notebook or on your phone or whatever, man. Review that after that exercise every single day. And I guarantee you, you will have an intermediate level, probably 3-4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Get on Netflix, watch a documentary, watch a documentary, even probably a movie, right? A movie in Spanish.
Something you already know. Right. So if it's something like Scarface, put that on in Spanish with the subtitles in Spanish, right? And it's something that you already enjoy watching, so it'll be easier to watch and pick up some vocabulary words here and there, stuff that Al Pacino says, and it'll be fun. You can enjoy it, and it'll be something that you want to stick to every day. And so I learned this, man, by teaching English to students who were executives and wanted to improve their English level to have a higher position in their company or to travel to the United States or someplace else to have a better opportunity, right? And so it was all about, and of course, during that time in between 2004 to 2012 that I was teaching English in Bogota, of course, they couldn't be immersed in English, right? It was impossible.
Yeah.
So I gave them that same suggestion. Okay, with movies, they were on DVD at the time, right? And so still, man, you didn't have any excuse. You could put the audio in English,
right, and
the subtitles in English, right? And they did this, and we did the same kind of exercise in class. So they became a lot more fluent faster, man, with that exercise.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. Well, you give me motivation and some homework assignments. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you listen. The ones that want to learn Spanish, definitely, and like you said, and vice versa. If you're from Colombia or South America and want to learn English, it's the same approach.
Yeah,
same approach. So, definitely, I definitely have a huge action item for myself in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, and well, listen, man. Anytime you want to practice as well, man, we can do that. It's all good. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm definitely going to take you up on that for sure. Awesome. So our next topic of discussion is a topic we've been covering actually a lot, Jason. And that is, unfortunately, all of the crackdowns that have been happening with the passport bros specifically in Medellin.
Yes.
Um, I do follow Robert Eaton as well, and he's doing a really excellent job
Oh
of
yeah.
of you know making sure that everyone knows what's going on. So we already know what's going on, but it's actually good to be able to see the extent of the crackdowns in Medellin. And so
Yes.
there was just a couple of days ago there was a famous I call him a famous influencer that does parties in Medellin,
Uh-huh.
and they detained him at the airport and then sent him right back to him. He's probably either already in America or on his way to America now.
Mm.
So and he had a significant following, by the way,
He
and
sure did.
basically they not only uh, called him out, but they took his video and made another video to say, no, you're not getting in the country. Period.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do these activities in the country. Uh,
Yeah.
my question to you, what I'd like for you to discuss real quick is, do you think that this will continue until? No. Actually, I'm going to answer that question a different way. Do you think that these crackdowns are going to become even more severe now that we have a new president, a new cabinet? I
Mm.
think I said Colombia has a new president, a new cabinet. Do you think these crackdowns, specifically in Medellin, are going to be even more severe, or are we at the height of these crackdowns regarding passport bros and all their activities and things that
Yeah.
they're trying to do?
Well, I mean, I just saw yesterday, man, from Robert Eaton, a video of the people that actually murdered Eric Molina.
Mm,
And so, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Molina was a flight attendant for American Airlines
hmm
that came to Medellin with a friend of his from American Airlines, a lady friend of his. And so they had gone to this restaurant bar there in I'm not sure exactly what part of Medellin. I think it was Poblado.
I think so.
Anyway, they had gone to this place, man, and he had met some women and decided to leave the club with these people. And so they kidnapped him and murdered him, man. And I want to say a brutal murder as well. And so just the other day, Homeland Security took video with the actual people that were captured from that crime that killed him. And so come to find out, man, they had left Medellin, left Colombia, and went to Ecuador
hmm
and Lima as well, and they captured them over there.
hmm
So I mean, Homeland Security, they're not playing. And if anybody is even thinking about doing something like that in Medellin or any other part of Colombia, they're coming after you. They have a ledger of people, I think, from the United States that are, offenders of sex offenders and have committed other related crimes. And so if you get here, you're going to be deported. And at the very worst, man, you're going to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, do you think we're at the height of this, or you think it just got started?
I think it just got started, man.
hmm
I mean, this is still continuing. I mean, there's people out there that still think that they can beat the system,
hmm
right? But man, it's coming to an end and fast.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that. I don't understand. Obviously, the people that are coming over here, coming over to Colombia, trying to do pedophilia activity, need not only be detained, they need to be arrested. But also,
Mm.
people are just coming over just to do parties. You're basically, essentially, what you're doing is you're acting like you're a business. You don't have a business established in Colombia. You don't have a business
No.
ability to be able to get a SAS, as they call it, which is equivalent to an LLC in the United States, and you're trying to
Mm.
profit and make money from the activities in Colombia. And when I say activities, I mean the women, the
Yeah.
nice mansions and homes that you can get in El Poblado and a lot of other places in Medellin. You're taking advantage of that to try to basically put money in your pocket. And again,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, there are ways to be able to do business in Colombia. That's not the way. You can't just go online and say $1,500 for a mansion party. That's not how it works. That's not
Yeah.
how it works, ladies and gentlemen. You have to get a business and get approved by that particular department and by immigration to be able to run and operate a business as an expat. So I want to make
Yeah.
that very clear that you can't just decide, hey, I'm gonna throw a pool party and I'm gonna charge everybody $100. No, that's not how it works.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
not
the thing about it, man, these guys know this, man. They
right.
know what they're doing is illegal, right? They wouldn't even do this in the States.
That's right.
And they come here to a foreign country. They don't know the language. They don't know the land. They don't know the culture, and they have the gall to do something like that, man. First of all, it's dangerous. Not only for the people involved
Right.
coming to this party, but also for them too, man. I mean, people are fed up
Right.
with what they're doing, man. And like I said, if they're not captured by the police, they're going to be captured by somebody else. And I think at this point right now, for people that take it upon themselves to come here to Colombia to find women on their own, they're still getting on these dating apps, man. They're still getting on Tinder and all these other apps out there,
Right.
coming to Colombia to find these women, thinking that they can, have a great night. And like Robert Eaton said, man, in a lot of cases, they're not even women that they're talking to. They're
Right.
talking to another dude on the other
Exactly.
end.
Exactly.
All you got is a picture. You don't have a video of this woman. You don't know if it's a woman or a man. So
That's right.
that, and then the other thing, man, you meet this woman,
Mhm.
and it's not just them that you're actually involved with. You're involved with the woman plus whoever it is that she's working for,
Right.
and it's a crime ring as well that you're getting involved in. And these gentlemen that have these parties, man, I mean, okay, yeah, the same case, the women work for a crime ring.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's dangerous business, man. All the way around, it's dangerous.
It is. It absolutely is. Jason, can you help the viewers, and I believe most viewers understand this, but help the viewers understand what good tourism looks like. We talked about this before, but I want to
Yeah.
take this opportunity to get your perspective. What does good tourism look like for Americans, Europeans, Canadians that are coming to Colombia?
Let me give you an example, man. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. But with our community, and I started a travel company. So we have Spirit Link Travel right now. And one of the things that I want to be able to do is network and collaborate with doctors, just like, in Cali there.
Hmm.
Same kind of thing. And orthodontists and people that have their own business here in Colombia and be able to recommend those businesses
Hmm.
to people that actually travel from the States or any other country here to Colombia and need to know, okay, if I need a good restaurant, whether it be, seafood or any other kind of food, I want to be able to recommend these places to people in our network. And okay, let's say that you need to have some dental work done, like myself. Next week, I was able to collaborate with an orthodontist here in Santa Marta. So we're going to be able to offer his service to people in the States. Now, his wife speaks perfect English.
Mm.
And so she's receiving, regular messages from people on Instagram, on Facebook, from people in the States right now, but she doesn't have a liaison from the States that actually lives here. So I was able to meet up with them, made a collaboration. And so, we're going to be able to offer their services through our network, our community as well. And so this is good tourism. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You want to be able to collaborate with other businesses, other establishments, hotels, resorts, those kinds of things at different cities around Colombia, and be able to, give people advice on where to go, what to do when you come here to Colombia That's the kind of thing I've always envisioned doing since I've been here. But now I have a nice network of people from the States that want to do business here in Colombia. And so we've been able to collaborate on travel and other things that we're going to be offering through our Spirit Link community. So I'm excited about that. I mean, you're doing some phenomenal things as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, you know, I need to be able to get with you in Cali and be able to, you know, recommend places there in Cali for the people in our network. Same type of thing is good tourism.
Absolutely. And I know you have a lot to share in regards to the viewers and people that follow Cali Culture platform. And we're gonna get on that in just a minute. I did want to, before we leave this topic, I did want to say everything you're saying is 100% true. And also culture. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want culture, that's good tourism. If you're a bird watcher in North America or Europe, you like birds, Colombia is a place to be. The number one bird watching destination in the world, not just in South America, in the world. If you like dancing, salsa tourism, believe it or not, there's people that come to Cali just for salsa dancing. If you like the ocean, Santa Marta, San Andreas, Cartagena, there are so many things, positive, wholesome things to do in Colombia. Colombia has a lot to offer. The only country that is actually it has a coastline that is the Atlantic coastline and the Caribbean Sea. The only country in South America with that with that geography. So there's a lot of things to do, and I want to stress it to the guys in particular, to the ladies as well, but to the guys in particular. When you come to Colombia with an open mind that you want to do different things, naturally, if you are single and you like to do different things, naturally you will find someone. You'll start to meet women. You don't really need the dating apps. Once you start doing things like bird watching, you'd be surprised at the number of Colombianas that love bird watching. So you get yourself involved in that, and obviously you're going to meet someone that could potentially be your mate or your significant other. Want to stress that fact. Now, Jason, I definitely want to talk about the things you have going on because you were busy. I think you're the busiest person out there besides myself. So let's get right into it. I want to know. I know you have Bible study going on and so many other things. So don't let me steal any of thunder. I'll let you have the floor for the next 8 to 10 minutes.
All right. So you know, the thing about the spiritual meaning about numbers, and I go through this in our Bible study. We have a Bible study Monday through Friday now, live streamed on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And so the way that this whole thing started, man, about 4 weeks ago, a brother of mine, his name is Kurt Clayton, he sent me a DM on LinkedIn. He said, you know, Jason, I would love to have a Bible study. And I said, well, I did a Bible study last year, you know, for I think 2-3 months. And I wanted to get that restarted. And so I wasn't exactly sure when I was going to restart that. And immediately after that meeting, man, with Kirk, God said, you know, you don't have to wait until next month or, you know, sometime in the future. Start now. I said, okay. So I started the Bible study with Kurt Clayton, man, and with Christine Bailey. And it just grew from there. And so not too much longer after that, and that was only, I think we were just doing it one day a week during that time. And so another brother, his name is Todd Swish, he came to me, he said, you know, we have a Bible study, a friend of mine and I, on Facebook or through Facebook. And would you be interested in doing this Monday through Friday, 5 days a week? He said, because, you know, I'm not able really to take what I'm learning from that Bible study and apply it to my life during the day, during the week. And I said, well, Of course, I would be interested in doing it. So, that's how that started. I think you came maybe to the second session that we had
Yes, I believe
started.
so. Yes. Great
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And so, man, now we have a pastor or a speaker that's actually speaking on a different day, Monday through Friday. So as you can see here, I'm going to be featured every Monday, as well as Todd Swish. And we have 4 other speakers that are going to be featured on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, different days during the week. And man, it's a phenomenal thing to watch it grow, to watch people from all over the world tuning in now on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And man, I think there's a lot to be said about, first of all, reading the Word of God, going to a Bible study, applying what you learn from Bible study to your life, and then also being more open or more aware of how God can lead you in a direction that can be a blessing to your life. So, for me, it's all about, having this Bible study on a daily basis, being able to have that conversation and get different perspectives from the other speakers and pastors here on our panel. It's a wonderful experience, man, and people love it. So it's really, really enjoyable. Yeah. So that's the Bible study, and our church, ladies and gentlemen, is Soul Sanctuary International. And so the mission of our church is that we want to be able to help these women that are being trafficked here in Colombia and also in other countries as well. I had a podcast not too long ago with my Circle Back to You podcast. And the gentleman that I interviewed, that's actually what he does. He's actually involved with helping these girls make that transition from these traumatic experiences that they've had into doing something purposeful in their lives. And so we have the same mission. We're aligned on that. And we also want to help people that, don't have enough food to eat. They don't have a purpose. We're going to be helping people to find their purpose in life as well. And of course, get delivered from mental health issues, man, and loneliness as well. Those are the 2 biggest concerns that we have as well. So we have Spirit Link for that purpose. We have a dating community, which is Spirit Link, and we're going to be doing events starting in November this year.
Nice.
So that's our church. And when it comes to podcast production, you've been a beneficiary of this. And so, I've really, really enjoyed podcast production over the past 6 years that I've been doing that. But man, I love your show. I love how you host it, the questions that you ask to your guests. And the first conversation that we had, we were talking about it. And you said, I've been thinking about this, but I haven't had really the opportunity to do it yet.
Right.
And you didn't have any fear at all to do it. You were like, let's make this thing happen.
Right.
And so here we are now, almost a year later. Can you believe that?
It's amazing.
So,
it's a blessing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, man. And so that's the first thing that I would tell people when they have the idea of a podcast show that they have, but they don't know exactly how to put this in action. Maybe they have some fear about how they're going to appear on camera. They don't have the necessary equipment and this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would tell you, don't worry about what you don't have. As long as you have a mission and a vision that you want to share with people, you want to have a larger audience that you want to reach for your business, there's no better way to do that than having a podcast show.
That's right.
And something that's live streamed so you can reach people no matter what demographic on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and now there's Twitch. And so I got to talk to you about Twitch, Jeremy, because I think your show needs to be on Twitch. Originally, everybody thought it was for gamers, right? And that's mostly what you're going to see on Twitch. But since we've been doing our Bible study, we connected our Bible study to Twitch and had people comment on our Bible study from Twitch. So, I mean, I think now, especially the younger generations, man, Gen Z and younger, that they're looking for more spirituality in their lives.
Yeah.
They just need, they need direction though.
Mm-hmm.
And we're responsible for that, man. Gen X, us 40 somethings up to 55, I got a son. He's almost 17 years old, and I'm responsible for making sure that he has a relationship with God,
right,
and making sure that he's heading in the right direction with his life spiritually. So, with podcast production, there's no better way than to have a podcast show that's focused on your brand, your message, in order to reach more people. And I've seen amazing things come out of these opportunities from podcast shows, man. You were able to connect with, what's her name, Paula? Or no? They're in Cali.
Oh, it's with several people, with Pilar Diaz.
Pilar.
Yeah, with several people.
Yeah.
Several gyms that now have affiliation with the gyms there, and fitness opportunities. Yeah, it's amazing to be able to connect with different people that you normally wouldn't connect with.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you were able to connect with Pilar and have a way to expand the medical tourism there in Cali. I mean, it's just amazing to see the kinds of opportunities come about like that. So, it's much more than having a podcast show. I mean, you're able to open up opportunities for business in other areas. Absolutely. And so it's very powerful. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be advertising this a lot more now, my podcast production service, because I want to be able to expand to athletes, to people in the entertainment industry, and a lot of artists that have not been discovered. Again, there's no better way than to make people aware of your music than to have a podcast show. There's no better way to do that. So we're going to be doing some amazing things in the area of sports and entertainment coming up. So if you have an interest, ladies and gentlemen, to have your own podcast show, send me a message on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Circle Back to You Podcast. I'm gonna put that information on the screen a little bit later. But also on LinkedIn, my name is JW the Wingman, and so you can send me a DM on LinkedIn as well, and I can get you going as far as what it's going to take to get started. And I mean, it's a very seamless process, right, bro?
Yeah, it was very straightforward. I was surprised at how straightforward it is. Yeah,
it's not difficult at all. So I can help you with that, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will be announcing this now on Monday. So, we have all of these moving parts. We have Circle of Friends Club. We've got Spirit Link. We've got our church. We've got the Bible study. So I had a meeting with a coach, and she's a business coach. She's there in Canada. And, I had a meeting with her, and she gave me the suggestion that, I see you building a church, Jason. I think that needs to be number one on the list. Although everything else that you're building right now is connected to each other. I mean, there's not one part that's disconnected from the other part, but you need an umbrella for everything that you do. One place to go to where they can find everything that you're offering to the public. I said, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so God gave me this name, Flourish One. And so what that is, it's a way that people can have abundance in all areas. I mean, because that's what God wants for people. But it all happens through his, or actually your belief in him. So through faith. So we're going to help you to have abundance in all areas through your faith, so that you can have a community that you can belong to. You can have relationships. If you are a leader or in a leadership position, we're going to help you to make connections so that you can have a network of leaders that you can belong to. Because I think that you might be number one in your field, but you still need a mentor. I don't care what level you get to in life. There's always somebody that you can learn from and get more information and other ways of doing business. So, we're going to surround you in our community, in our Flourish One community, by people that are, number one in their particular field. So whether that's sports, entertainment, it could be that you're an executive at a company and you have a top level position. You need relationships no matter what level you get to. And, another concern about that, though, is that, no matter how high you get in life or successful you are in life, a lot of us have problems in our relationships, mm-hmm. In our marriages, in our families and other relationships that we have, friendships, too. We have problems there, too. Mm-hmm. And we're not being educated on how we can have relational intelligence in those relationships, right? In order to have success. So that's what our Flourish One community is about. And so, as I mentioned in a previous episode, Talia Ashley, the founder of Bonde Intelligence, and she has a platform as well. I'm going to actually read this. She gave me this to share with everybody what exactly our partnership is about. In a unique way, Bonde Intelligence serves as the relational intelligence arm of Flourish One, providing practical training for stronger human relationships and systems through gaming exercises and one of the world's first relational networks. Together, Flourish One and Bonde Intelligence help people to align priorities, communicate clearly, understand their roles, and fulfill their responsibilities with accountability. Mm-hmm. Our partnership equips individuals and teams to practice ethical self-governance and exercise sound judgment, especially under pressure. And if you heard what I just said, I think everybody can relate to this on some level.
Yeah.
And so, you're going to be able to attend events, belong to a community of people that are actually really, really powerful individuals in all of their fields, but want to build something collectively as well. So our first event will actually be November the 19th in Dallas, Texas.
Nice.
So yeah, man, it's going to be at Stonewater DFW. So ladies and gentlemen, you can go to the website right now, Stonewater DFW, and look up this location. So what we're going to be doing that particular night, and this will be sponsored by Spirit Link, Circle of Friends Club as well, and Bonde Intelligence as well. We're going to have an event there with up to, I would say, 300 people. It's going to be an upscale networking event there in Dallas. And so we're beginning on Monday to talk about this on all of our podcast shows and talking about how this will work and everything. And I'm going to make an official announcement about Flourish One on Monday on LinkedIn. And you'll also see this in my newsletter. So we're excited about what we're doing. And of course, our church, Soul Sanctuary International, is a huge part of this as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, God is doing some amazing things already.
Amazing.
And
wow.
So, yeah, man. And last but not least, so everything that we create from here on out is under our Flourish One brand, and Flourish One Sports is on the way. And so, as you can see here, this is Niwakati Sports Africa. I met this lady. Her name is Denise Cherie in Kenya, Africa. And she has this wonderful organization, man. She's teaching the Word of God to students from 5 years old all the way through high school. And she's also making it available to these students, man, to play different sports that they wouldn't ordinarily have available to them in Africa. So we're talking about rugby, basketball, football, American football. I mean, things that you wouldn't ordinarily think that, women would have access to there in Africa. But she's doing some amazing things, man. She's actually going to be on my Circle Back to You podcast this coming Wednesday. So that's going to be at 4 o'clock Columbia and 5 o'clock Eastern. So as you can see here, man, she's got a Bible in her hand, teaching the kids the Word of God. And so in this particular case, she's teaching them soccer. So that's another huge sport that they have, that they're teaching the girls there and boys too, there in Kenya, man. And it's just going to expand from there because, listen, a lot of people in Kenya and other nations of Africa, they don't have the access to have podcast shows for what they want to show the world that they're doing. So we're going to be, heavily involved now through Flourish One Sports, representing athletes that, yes, they have the talent, but they don't have the resources for training, for equipment, and other things that they need in order to become these supernatural athletes that we see in the United States. We're going to be able to reach out to people in Africa, in Colombia, and other countries, man, that, they're full of talent, but they just don't have the resources that they need. And so that's what Flourish One Sports is about. And that's what Ni Wakati Sports is about. And again, this is the beginning of something phenomenal that we're going to be able to do to impact the world. Nice. And so, yeah, brother. And so that's everything that we're doing. There's more stuff, but we have to wait to another episode, brother.
Well, I love it. I tell you, all of these things that you mentioned and you described is what's needed in the world. It is so important that people have a voice. I was listening to actually it was a clip on Instagram. It was talking about retired athletes and the fact that they build a whole identity, Jason, around being an athlete, whether it's a boxer, American football player, or MMA fighter. They built this whole life around it, and then when they leave sports, it's like they feel like they've lost an identity. They lost themselves. So to be able to have things like this, whether it's a podcast, whether it's helping children in need or children that want to learn other sports, sometimes a retired athlete can find his calling teaching a young child that sport, or
exactly
helping a young child learn how the proper way to be conditioned, the proper way to eat. And so all of these things you're talking about is great. All these things that you're rolling out is great. We definitely need more networking, positive, soulful Christian networking.
Yes.
And so I think it is highly imperative what you're doing, and I want to applaud you for all your efforts. Obviously, this takes time. This takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of dedication and effort, and a lot of people are not willing to put the time in those late nights, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight, doing these activities. So I applaud you because I know how it is to try to get something from a concept to a creation to actually launch. That is a lot of work right there. A lot of times there's an old saying, and I'm not sure if it's politically correct or not, but I think it's okay. You want to see the baby, but you want to have the baby. You don't want to go through the 9 months. In other words,
right? Yeah.
You want to see the pretty baby. You don't want to go through the 9 months, and so the 9 months is what determines everything. God gives us a lot of activities and talents and skills and ability. But if they're laid dormant in your mind or in your heart, you can go to the grave with a lot of skills, a lot of talent, a lot of ability, because God is not going to force you to do what He wants you to do. He's going to nudge you, but He's not going to force you. And so continue. I want to say both to you, Jason, and to the others that are working with you on these things, and the viewers. Continue to
Yeah.
grind, because God's given us skills, talents, and abilities. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you all, but I don't want to take any talent to the grave with me. Any God given skill or talent, I want to use it. I want to
Yeah.
maximize my potential that God's given me on this earth. Because guess what? You only get one body and one life. Use them wisely.
Absolutely, man. And so I think, again, man, the biggest thing that stops people from pursuing their purpose or something that you have talent to do, it comes very easily to you don't have to try to do this thing, but you're not encouraged enough to pursue it as a career, you know. And there's a lot of fear associated along with that. You know, listen, I still have fear myself, and I'm sure you do too, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But you know, we do it anyway. That's the thing. You know, we take the necessary steps anyway, and you know that's the only way to make things happen. I don't care what level you get to. You can be one of the top NBA players. Everybody has fear in life, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when Jordan was playing, everybody was scared to play against him.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
still, you had to get on that court every night. You had to face him every night, and you know, win or lose, you did your thing. You know, but
That kind of reminds me, Jason. And we're running out of time here. I don't know how an hour slipped away this fast. Well, actually, I do know how. Is because we have enlightening, perspective, great discussion. That's how. But that just reminds me of Allen Iverson. He said when he first went up against Michael Jordan, he said he just watching Jordan before the game started. He's watching Jordan. Jordan didn't even look real. He like some mythical creature or something. And then he said, but when that game started, all of that admiration went away, and now it's about getting the job done. And so fear can be used to drive you sometimes if you know how to manage it, if you know how to deal with it. Fear can drive you in the right direction sometimes, but you can't let it consume you.
Yeah, yeah. Along with that, man, and we're going to finish up soon, I promise. But, you know, I'm inspired by Robbie Wells. He's a good friend of mine. He has his own podcast show, Rise Up with Robbie. But Robbie said, you know, he surrounds himself by champions, you know, people that have done phenomenal things in the world and in sports. You know, he was a D1 coach for the University of South Carolina and at Savannah State. And so, you know, he's been around, you know, these supermen in sports his entire life. And he's transitioning into politics. Actually, he's been in politics before. He was a 2024 presidential candidate. And, you know, I'm going to quote him and the Lord as well. He used this in his testimony on our Bible study. He said, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper." And so, you know, I'm gonna say that because we are actually, you know, in the new beginning. This is the 8th month of the year, and biblically, the number 8 means new beginnings. So, ladies and gentlemen, you watching this podcast, I want to encourage you that if you have a project, an idea, a concept of something that you know that if you just didn't do this thing, you would be constantly reminded of it by God. You know, so you got to do it. Maybe you don't have the resources, maybe you don't have the contacts or anything like that, but just start. Just start it, ladies and gentlemen, because see, God is going to make sure that you have the resources, the community around whatever it is that you need to accomplish. And, you know, he's gonna make it happen for you, but you got to start. So absolutely. I want to leave everybody with that. And God bless y'all.
Absolutely. We have a few comments real quick that I wanted to acknowledge, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. So Abilash said, "Wow, so beautiful." I'm not sure at what part of the conversation he said this, but yeah, I mean everything we were talking about is phenomenal. Absolutely. So yeah, we thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, absolutely. So this is Denise, who I was talking about, Denise Cherie.
Right. Start now. This is always what God wants us to do, to obey and hear his voice. Imagine Moses was asked what was in his hands. He used a rod and was a great blessing in his time. Absolutely. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. The time is now.
Yeah.
Moses used only a rod and was a great gift to the generation. God wants us to use what we have, and he will provide everything else. Absolutely.
Yes, I
Use what
just
we
said
have. Yeah,
that. Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Dallas, here we come. This is great news. Yeah, it's absolutely great news. I can't wait to hear more about it, Jason. And I know you have more to share. So
Oh yeah.
stay tuned. All right. Hallelujah. Thank you so much, Jason. All the glory to God. Can't wait. Yeah, absolutely. It's great
Amen.
what you're doing. And, Denise, thanks for listening. Did I say the name right? I want to make sure I said the name right.
Denise Cherie.
Denise Cherie. Denise Cherie, thank you very much for listening and your great comments and feedback. Really, really appreciate that. This has been a great episode, as
Oh yeah.
always, Jason. We always have great, enlightening, good, positive conversation, and we're going to continue. Obviously, I'm sure you'll be back. You'll be back on the show.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
have you again for some more good conversation, more positive conversation that you can take and you can be inspired, uplifted, encouraged, and you can be educated as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this one up. It's been a great episode. Thank you very much for joining. And for those of you listening in its entirety, it is much appreciated. Thank you for the support. Uh, by the way, if you do want to provide a small donation, definitely no pressure, but if you want to provide a donation, large or small, you can definitely do so. As you can see on the screen, there's several different ways you can provide a donation to keep the lights on, continue to keep this good content in your airways so you can glean good information, not just about Cali, but about life in general. So yeah, if you want to make a donation, then you can do so with Cash App, Zelle, um, and other ways. So feel free to do so. And again, it's much appreciated. God bless to each and every one that donates. With that being
Absolutely.
said, ladies and
One more
gentlemen.
thing.
Oh yeah,
One more
sure.
thing, bro. I just wanted to let everybody know. Okay, for this broadcast, for Cali Culture Podcast, and all the other shows that we're producing, you can go to our YouTube channel, and that is Circle Back to You Podcast. And so you can go there. You can take a look at all the other shows that we produce in order to get an idea of possibly how your show will look. Also, Jeremy, what is your YouTube channel?
It is
Let everybody know.
Cali Colombian Culture Chimba. And also, if you can go to the website, traveltocali.com. It has a lot of information there. First-time travelers, expats, a lot of information, a lot of things I'm doing in the month of August that you can check out. So stay tuned, stay connected with me for much, much more. With that
Absolutely.
being said, we're going to close the show. I always like to say in my final monologue that, again, thank you for your continued support. Like I always say, respect the culture, like the culture, live the culture. Always have a great day. See you next time. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Thank you for watching the Cali Culture Podcast with Jeremy Preston. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week for our next episode.